All right, shalom, shalom. All right, Barakatah Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops at Great Millstone. Shalom to you, Akim. All right, and this is a response, a relatively quick one, to Apostle Tahar's What Say Y'all? The Mixed Multitude is what we're going to call it. And I'm going to play this. I'm going to play what the apostle played, and just address the topic because it's very simple, but, the UPK, they got a biased demon on them. They got the all black demon on them too. All right. And you just wrong. You wrong. All right. And we're going to prove that. I got an example. So without further ado.
The mixed multitude that went out with the children of Israel, but that mixed multitude was men, women, and children that was not a part of the military of Israel.
So the mixed multitude, according to what he just said, I'll let you hear it 3 times. You can rewind it back, bring it back.
Was men.
Hear it again.
That went Israel out of the land of Egypt.
No, there was a mixed multitude that went out with the children of Israel, but that mixed multitude was men, women, and children that was not a part of the military of Israel.
All right, so that's wrong. Because, the scripture clearly say, as you can see right here, and we're going to read into it, Exodus 12 and 36, we'll start right there. Right, and the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required. And they spoiled the Egyptians. And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramesses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot, that were men beside children. All right. So, verse 37 pretty much cuts what he said. All right. You read it in the NLT. Okay, it says, that night the people of Israel left Ramesses and started for Succoth, right? There were about 600,000 men plus all the women, all right, and children, all right? Now, this is verse 38 is separate, all right? And it says, and a mixed multitude in the KJV, all right? The NLT answers it. It kind of cuts everything that he said, right? So we'll read it anyway. And it says, in a mixed multitude, we'll read both, went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle. All right? So NLT says, a rabble of non-Israelites went with them along with great flocks and herds of livestock. So you got the 600,000 men plus all the women and children, all right, aside from the rabble of non-Israelites, all right. And what proved there were heathen nation or Egyptians or mixed multitude among the Israelites? All right, you can easily go to Leviticus, all right. And I'm sure brothers already know about this. This is Leviticus 24 and 11. And this proved the UPK, they don't read. They don't do too much studying. All right. And examining what they read. Kind of, putting a scope on what they're reading. All right. So they're just proud. They're proud. They got, they wear the garments and the cufflinks, with the spikes, so Leviticus 24 and 11, it says, and the Israelitish woman's, all right, let's read into it, Salaki, an example of just punishment. Let's see here. I'll read in the NLT straight to the point. It says, one day a man who had an Israelite mother and an Egyptian father, okay, because your progeny is determined by your father. All right. The father seed determines who the child is. This proves that there were a mixed multitude with the Israelites. All right. Plain and simple. Right. So it says, one day a man who had an Israelite mother and an Egyptian father, right, came out of his tent and got into a fight with one of the Israelite men. So you had the seed of another nation among the Israelites, which, you know, when you read on, the Lord had to, he got rid of them. All right. He got rid of them. All right. And he separated us. All right. And we received our inheritance because those nations didn't receive an inheritance with us. The Lord prompted Israel to cut themselves off from these other nations. All right. And what happened was we didn't, in some cases, and the scriptures talk about them becoming a thorn in our side, roughly paraphrasing. All right. And that's what happened. That mixed multitude was influencing, Jake to go off. All right. And that's why the Lord had to separate. All right. So during the fight, verse 11, this son of an Israelite woman blasphemed the name of the Lord with a curse. So the man was brought to Moses for judgment. His mother was Shalomoth or Shalomith or Myth. All right. So the daughter of Debri of the tribe of Dan. All right. They kept the man in custody until the Lord's will in the matter should become clear to them. Then the Lord said to Moses, take the blasphemer outside the camp and tell all those who heard the curse to lay their hands on his head. Then let the entire community stone him to death. All right. And the reason why this is fresh in my head is because we actually went over this the other day. I believe that one of the brothers in the camp mentioned it, and we read it. All right. So it says, so say to the people of Israel, those who curse their God will be punished for their sin. All right. Anyone who blasphemes the name of the Lord Yahweh, right, must be stoned to death by the whole community of Israel. Any native-born Israelite or foreigner among you who blasphemes the name of the Lord, all right, must be put to death. Okay. And the KJV says, as well as a stranger. Let me see something. I just want to check something really quick. The word here for stranger in verse 16, as well as a stranger, because Gar, and this is dealing with an Israelite, all right? Okay. So Gar, sojourner, a temporary inhabitant, a newcomer lacking inherited rights, of foreigners in Israel, though conceded rights. All right. So, and then you got different classifications of what a stranger is. All right. Gar, let's see here. Probably a guest, by implication, a foreigner, alien, sojourner, stranger. Okay. Here, this is good right here. Sojourner, stranger, foreigner, a person living outside or out of his own country. All right. And you had that. You had that among the Israelites. All right. Okay. So I believe, Moses' son, his name was Gershom, if I'm not mistaken. But not to go too far on a tangent. All right. She called his name Gershom, right? Exodus 2:22, and she bare him a son and called his name Gershom, for he said, I have been a stranger in a strange land. She was the word for Gershom. All right. So Gershom, and we just read let's see here, foreigner, firstborn. Okay, so Gershom, right? Yep, so I really wanted to check something really quick. So Gar is the same thing as what we just read. Sham, all right, Sham meaning name. Let's see here. So you got Gar, and then you got Sham. We know Sham meaning name, and Gar meaning stranger, a stranger. Such manner that appears that the writer took it for Sham or Gershom, a stranger. There is, of course, the true etymology Moses wrote by inspiration. Okay. All right, so let's get a few more. All right, Numbers. And I think this is the scripture that the apostle was alluding to, Numbers 11 and 4. It says, let's see here, Numbers 11 and 4, it says, and the mixed multitude that was among them fell a lusting, and the children of Israel also wept again, and said, who shall give us flesh to eat? So they pretty much provoked Israel to complain as well. All right. So this mixed multitude were complaining amongst the Israelites. All right. And they started complaining as well. Okay. Let's read in the NLT. Then the foreign rabble who were traveling with the Israelites began to crave the good things of Egypt, and the people of Israel also began to complain. Oh, for some meat, they exclaimed. Okay? It's a lot. We remember the fish we used to eat for free in Egypt, and we had all the cucumbers, melons, leeks, onions, and garlic we wanted. But now our appetites are gone. All we ever see is this manna. It says the manna looked like small coriander seeds, and it was pale yellow like gum resin. The people would go out and gather it from the ground. They made flour by grinding it with hand mills or pounding it in mortars. Then it says, then they boiled it in a pot and made it into flat cakes. These cakes tasted like pastries baked with olive oil. All right. The manna came down on the camp with the dew during the night. All right. The complaint of Moses. Moses heard all the families standing in the doorways of their tents, still in the NLT, whining, and the Lord became extremely angry. Moses was also very aggravated. And Moses said to the Lord, why are you treating me, your servant, so harshly? Have mercy on me. What did I do to deserve the burden of all these people? So even the people, they were complaining so damn much, starting with the mixed multitude. All right. And then the Israelites followed as well. Let me look this word rabble up. All right, that's the word in the NLT in place for mix. All right, the rabble. It says asapasap. Asapasap. All right, if I said it correctly. Collection, rabble, collected, multitude. Right, so this multitude kind of influenced Jake the Cry, you know? And And that's why the Lord had to get them the hell away. All right. They had to get the hell away. All right, Exodus 32. All right, and 1. Here, let me see if I can read the fine points. Okay, let's see how long we go. All right, so it says, and when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, all right, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron and said unto him, up, make us gods which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what has become of him. Okay. And it says, and Aaron said unto them, break off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives, all right, of your sons and of your daughters, and bring them unto me. All right, and all the people break off the golden earrings which were in their ears, and brought them unto Aaron, and he received them at their hand, all right, and fashioned it with a graving tool after he had made it a molten calf. Right, and you know, this part of the reason why the Lord didn't allow for us to mix among these damn heathen at this time, all right, is because they was having Jake go off. Jake was going off, following them. They was somewhat being influenced, not somewhat, hell, they was being influenced by these heathen, all right, the mixed multitude, okay? All right. So let me see something. Let me see if I can find the fine points. Let me pause. All right. So really quick, I asked ChatGPT to help me, just for the sake of time. All right. So, and this is a tool you can utilize. You know, the elders have been utilizing it. You know, and for the most part, sometimes it's on point, sometimes it's off, because, you know, it gives you a worldly view, you know, of the biblical context, right? So I asked her, why did God tell Israel not to mix themselves with the nations? All right, and we know it for the most part, because the Lord said we're a peculiar people, you know, and we're a holy people, meaning we're a separate nation. And the more we dealt with these nations, the more they corrupted us, all right? All right, and that's why we were told not to marry into these different families of these heathen, okay? But yeah, they were among us, all right, when we left out of Egypt, you know, and that's plain as day, right? The Most High told Israel not to mix themselves with the nations because he had set them apart as his holy people, distinct from surrounding nations that worship idols and practice corruption, and that's what they were into, okay? And that rubbed off on Israel, all right? Key reasons: preserve covenant holiness, all right? Israel has chosen to be a holy nation, Exodus 19, 5-6. Mixing with other nations would blur their separation and compromise their covenant identity. Avoid idolatry and apostasy. Yeah, that's right. That's Deuteronomy 7:3, okay? Right? Neither shalt thou make marriages with them, for they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. All right. And what do you think they would? They weren't doing that in the wilderness. I mean, well, after, you know, they left out of Egypt. Okay, they were doing it. All right. Let's see here. Exclusive worship of Israel, adopted foreign customs. They would corrupt the worship of Yahweh. All right. The ones that join with the nations will become snares and traps. This is the one I wanted. Okay. That Joshua 23:12. Then I'm going to close out. All right. Because I've been made the point. Joshua 23 and 12. That's a lot. All right. Joshua 23 and 12, it says, take good heed, therefore, unto yourselves, that ye love the Lord Yahweh your power. Else, if ye do in any wise go back and cleave unto the remnant of these nations, even these that remain among you, and shall make marriages with them, and go in unto them, and they to you, know for a certainty that the Lord Yahweh your power will no more drive out any of these nations from before you, but they shall be snares and traps unto you. And that's just essentially what, these nations were, even dealing with that mixed multitude. Okay? But they shall be snares and traps unto you, and scourges in your sides, punishments, all right, and thorns in your eyes, until ye perish off this good land, which the Lord Yahweh, your power, hath given you. Right. So, I mean, that pretty much, Lord willing, that answers the question, and Lord willing, it was edifying, because, and that's why the Lord don't want us to be, we're an exclusive nation, all right? He don't want us to be around these and mingled in with these nations. Yeah, you can deal with them to a certain degree, all right? And the scriptures talk about making friends of mammon, all right? Use the world to not abusing it, But yeah, Lord willing, this was edifying. Until next time, I say shalom.